Hello friends, welcome back once again. So today we are going to see the part second of aldehydes and ketones, that is preparation and reactions. So if you are visiting this channel first time, so please subscribe the channel, share the video and press the bell icon button so you'll get the notification of my next video. So let's start aldehydes and ketones. So first we'll see from acid chlorides. So aldehydes can be prepared from acid chlorides by using Rosenmund reduction. So in Rosenmund reduction, acid chlorides on catalytic hydrogenation in presence of palladium supported barium sulfate forms aldehydes. So in this particular reaction, small amount of quinoline or sulfur can be added to poison the catalyst or to reduce the activity of palladium so as to reaction will stop at the aldehydic stage. Let's see the general reaction of Rosenmund reduction. So we have taken here acid chloride and it is reacted with the hydrogen as it is a reduction in presence of palladium barium sulfate. So the hydrogen that will react with this and it breaks this COCl bond. So H will join to carbonyl and another H will form a side product HCl. So you are getting a aldehyde here. So in this way you can easily get the aldehydes from acid chloride. Let's take the example. So if you are taking the acetyl chloride and if it undergo the Rosenmund reduction, so it will give you the product acetaldehyde, simple breaking of this CCl bond. Similarly, benzoyl chloride on reaction with hydrogen in presence of palladium barium sulfate, so you'll get the benzaldehyde, that's the aromatic aldehyde. So this is about Rosenmund reduction. Now we'll see the preparation of ketone from acid chloride. So it is also one of the named reaction, that is Friedel-Crafts reaction. So acid chlorides on reaction with benzene in presence of Lewis acid catalysts like AlCl3, it forms aromatic ketones. So it is one of the typical electrophilic substitution reaction. So aromatic electrophilic substitution reaction. You see the ketone preparation. So we have taken here benzene, acetyl chloride, Lewis acid catalyst. So it's a Friedel-Crafts acylation. So simply HCl molecule is eliminated and this acetyl group is substituted in benzene ring or it is introduced in the benzene ring. So you will get the acetophenone. Similarly, if you are taking the benzoyl chloride instead of acetyl chloride, the product will be benzophenone. So benzoyl group is introduced in the benzene ring. That's it. So in this way, you can easily get the aromatic ketones by using Friedel-Crafts acylation reaction. Now let's prepare aldehydes and ketones from nitriles. So it requires a very much important reagent, that's the Grignard reagent. So for aldehyde preparations, that Grignard reagent you have to react with hydrogen cyanide will form organomagnesium compound and which further hydrolyze to aldehydes. For ketones, instead of hydrogen cyanide, you have to take alkyl cyanides and that will also gives you the final product ketone. Reaction will be the same. Alkyl cyanides react with Grignard reagent, form organomagnesium compound which further hydrolyze to ketone. That's it. So let's see the preparations, how you are getting that aldehydes and ketones by using Grignard reagent and alkyl cyanides or nitriles we can say. So here I have taken hydrogen cyanide and methyl magnesium bromide. Obviously we require a dry ether medium as we are taking the Grignard reagent. So Grignard reagent polarity is, so alkyl group always having the negative charge. So methyl is having the delta negative polarity. So it will easily attacks on the positively charged carbon. This bond will opens and it will picks up this MgBr. So you are getting this organomagnesium compound. So this is the addition product and this addition product further hydrolyzed in acidic medium, so you will get the acetaldehyde. So simply this C double bond O is converted into a carbonyl. So with the elimination of ammonia gas. Let's see the ketone preparation. So here just hydrogen is replaced by methyl and nothing else. This is the acetonitrile. Remaining part as it is, it's very similar. So methyl that is having a negative polarity will attack on the carbon, double bond will open, and this counterpart will be attached to nitrogen. You will get the addition product, and this addition product will further hydrolyze to acetone. So from acetonitrile you will get the acetone. From hydrogen cyanide you will get the acetaldehyde. So remember, so in this way we can easily prepare the aldehydes and ketones by nitrile method also. Now let's see some reactions of aldehydes and ketones. So first reaction is with hydrogen cyanide. So it is nothing but the cyanohydrin formation. So aldehydes and ketones on reaction with HCN, hydrogen cyanide, forms a corresponding cyanohydrins. So suppose we have a aldehyde or ketone. If you are reacting with HCN, so simple polarities, hydrogen is the positively charged and cyanide is the negatively charged. Obviously partial polarization I have shown. Now in carbonyl, all of you know carbon is positively charged and oxygen is negatively charged, as it is a more electronegative. So just we have to attach the oppositely charged fragments to the corresponding carbon and oxygen or corresponding elements. Okay, so this hydrogen will join to oxygen and CN will join to carbon, and simply you are getting this tetravalent product, that's the cyanohydrin, having the sp3 geometry or tetrahedral geometry, sp3 carbon. Okay, so here is the sp2, now it will be converted to sp3. So you are getting the corresponding cyanohydrin. So if you are taking the acetaldehyde, react with hydrogen cyanide and you will get what? Acetaldehyde cyanohydrin. Now let's see some reactions of aldehydes and ketones. So first reaction, reaction with hydrogen cyanide, that is cyanohydrin formation. So carbonyl compounds on reaction with HCN forms corresponding cyanohydrins. So suppose this is the aldehyde or ketone, and if you are reacting with HCN, so partial polarities I have shown here. Hydrogen is the partial positive charge, cyanide with a partial negative charge. Similarly, all of you know the polarities. In oxygen, it's a partial negative, carbon is partial positive. So oppositely charged fragments will attach to each other. So hydrogen will join to oxygen, CN will join to carbon, and you will get this tetravalent sp3 hybridized product, that's the cyanohydrin. So here is the hybridization sp2, as it's a double bond, it will be converted to sp3. Suppose if you are taking the acetaldehyde and it is reacted with the HCN, so you will get the acetaldehyde cyanohydrin. So simply hydrogen attached to oxygen, CN will attach to carbonyl carbon. Okay. Next, acetone on reaction with HCN form corresponding acetone cyanohydrin. Let's see the mechanism of this reaction. So it involves two steps. Nucleophilic attack of cyanide. So here is the cyanide ion. So nucleophilic attack of cyanide takes place on the carbonyl carbon to form alkoxide ion. And this alkoxide ion further abstracts the proton from the solvent or from the HCN to form corresponding cyanohydrin, as we are taking the acetaldehyde. So here the final product is acetaldehyde cyanohydrin. So first step is the slow step, and hence we can say it's a rate determining step. Next is reaction of aldehydes and ketones with sodium bisulfite. Sodium bisulfite. So sodium bisulfite is also one of the very important reaction or characteristic reaction for the detection of the aldehydes and ketones, as it forms a crystalline bisulfite product or adduct. This is the general reaction. If you are taking the aldehydes or ketone and react with sodium bisulfite, you will get the crystalline bisulfite addition product. So simple, hydrogen will attach to the oxygen and the remaining part will attach to carbonyl carbon. So how you are forming or how this product is formed, that we'll have to see. Okay, so first we'll see some examples. So this is the acetaldehyde. React with sodium bisulfite, you'll get the acetaldehyde sodium bisulfite product. From acetone, you'll get the acetone sodium bisulfite. See the mechanism, how you are getting that final product. Okay, let's see the mechanism of this reaction. So it involves two steps. So nucleophilic attack of bisulfite ion takes place on the carbonyl. So it becomes a O minus, that's the alkoxide ion, and Na plus will be the counterpart. So in first step, you will get this alkoxide ion, which is a very strong base, and internally abstract this proton. So that is the proton transfer from SO3H group to O minus, and you will get this particular final product, that is the acetaldehyde sodium bisulfite. And this Na plus now will be the counterpart of this SO3 Na. So in this way, you can form that crystalline sodium bisulfite product of acetaldehyde. Similarly, acetone will undergo the same sodium bisulfite addition, and you will get the acetone sodium bisulfite product. Let's see the next reaction. So reaction with monohydric alcohols. So monohydric alcohol means which contains only one alcoholic group. So first we'll see with aldehydes. So as alcohols reacts differently with aldehydes and ketones, and that's why we have taken differently both the reactions. So reaction with aldehydes. So aldehydes on reaction with alcohols in presence of dry HCl forms a acetal compound. Obviously, 2 moles of alcohols are required through this intermediate hemiacetal. So what is hemiacetal? Hemiacetal, in which carbon is attached to alkoxy and alcoholic group. This is the hemiacetal group. While the acetal group is nothing but the carbon which is attached to 2 alkoxy group or geminal dialkoxy compound is known as a acetal. So simple nucleophilic attack of lone pair of oxygen will take place on the carbonyl, and this oxygen will picks up this proton. You will get this species. Sorry. Then this hemiacetal will be converted to acetal by reacting with the further next mole of alcohol. So here we are using the dry HCl because whatever product form, that side product water, that should be absorbed by that HCl. Otherwise reaction will go reversed and you will again get the carbonyl compound. Similarly, if you are taking the acetaldehyde, react with ethyl alcohol, you will get the hemiacetal, which further react with next mole of ethyl alcohol to form the acetal product. So this is about the reaction of alcohol, monohydric alcohol with the aldehydes. So what happens when dihydric alcohols are used? So when dihydric alcohols are used, aldehydes forms cyclic acetals. So here I have taken acetaldehyde, and example of dihydric alcohol is ethylene glycol. So in this case, simple dehydration will take place like this. 2 hydrogens from the 2 hydroxyl groups and oxygen that will be eliminated, and this CH2CH2O part will join to this carbon in a cyclic way. So you get this cyclic acetal. So this is about the reaction of monohydric alcohol with the aldehydes. Now we'll go for the reaction of alcohol with ketones. What will happen? So ketones do not form ketals with monohydric alcohol because ketones are not that much reactive, and therefore they do not react with the monohydric alcohol. But with the dihydric alcohols or diols, they can form cyclic ketals. So here I have taken ketone. It's a diol, that's the ethylene glycol. In presence of dry HCl, it will easily dehydrate and you will get the cyclic ketal formation. So if you have taken the acetone, so it can form cyclic ketal here. As side product is the water, obviously dry HCl is very important. If we are not using dry HCl, reaction will go backward to the acetone, and therefore this particular reaction can be used in protection deprotection strategies to protect the carbonyl group to avoid side reactions. So we can protect the carbonyl carbon or carbonyl group by reacting with ethylene glycol to form cyclic ketal, and this cyclic ketal can further hydrolyzed or can be hydrolyzed back to acetone again after completion of our reaction, and therefore we can use this reaction as a protection deprotection strategy. The next reaction, that is reaction with ammonia derivatives. So ammonia derivatives react with aldehydes and ketones in presence of slightly acidic medium to form the addition product, say the slightly acidic medium, and to form the condensation product, which now next reaction is reaction with aldehydes and ketones. So in presence of slightly acidic medium, aldehydes and ketones condense with ammonia derivatives to form a addition product. And if further acidic proton is present, it will undergo elimination of water to form such a type of product which contains the carbon double bond nitrogen. That's the imine type product. So as this reaction contains both addition and elimination reaction, so it is known as the addition elimination type reaction. So here say any aldehyde or ketone, so the ammonia derivative. So we are going to change this G group, then you will get the different products there. So slightly acidic medium, and you will get the final product which contains C double bond N. So let's see the mechanism of this reaction. So first step, here protonation of this carbonyl oxygen takes place. You are getting the species, so as to this carbon becomes a more electrophilic, and now this ammonia derivative, that nitrogen is having electron pair, easily attacks on that electrophilic protonated carbonyl carbon. Now this carbon oxygen bond will open and positive charge will be vanished. So you are getting at this particular intermediate. So after deprotonation, you are getting this product in which the hydroxyl group and hydrogen groups are present adjacent to each other, which will further undergo dehydration. That's the elimination of water molecule, gives you the product which contains the carbon nitrogen double bond. So in this way you will get that final product. So as addition and elimination, both reactions are occur. This is the example of addition elimination reaction. Let's see some common ammonia derivatives and the products formed. So if you have a hydroxylamine, in this group G is what? NH2 is common everywhere. So only that G group we are going to change here. It's a hydroxyl now. So when hydroxyl group is there, name will be hydroxylamine, and the name of the product form is a oxime. If group G is NH2, then it will be a hydrazine, and name of the product will be hydrazone. So just I am changing this I by O, or replacing I by O, you will get this name of the product. This is phenylhydrazine. So group G is NHPH. So obviously name of the product will be, just replace I by O, you will get the phenylhydrazone. Semicarbazide, NHCO NH2, that's the urea group is present there, and you'll get the product is semicarbazone. And when you are using the 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazine, it's a 2,4-DNP, very important characteristic reagent for the detection of the carbonyl compounds. So 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazine. So this 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazine group is this one. This group is the G, and the product form it's a 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazone. So it is shortly called as a 2,4-DNP. Okay. Now let's see these all derivatives in detail. So first, when reaction with hydroxylamine, so I am taking first hydroxylamine. So reaction, sorry, structure of hydroxylamine NH2OH. So nitrogen is having nucleophilic lone pair attack on the carbonyl. You are getting this intermediate which further undergo dehydration to form C double bond N, and this nitrogen is now attached to hydroxyl group. So here is the hydroxyl group. This is the group G that we have seen in previous slide. Okay, so acetaldehyde will give you acetaldeoxide. If you are taking the acetone here, then you will get the oxime of acetone. So like that. Let's take the second reaction with hydrazine now. So hydrazine is NH2 NH2. So group G is now NH2. Remaining mechanism is very same. So we'll get here intermediate product, dehydration will be there, and group G is now NH2 here. So this is known as a acetophenone hydrazone. So just I, this I is replaced by O. That's it. So you'll get that corresponding derivatives. Third, we are going to take its phenylhydrazine. So here is the phenylhydrazine, and you'll get this intermediate. Group G is the NHPH. Same nucleophilic attack takes place on the carbonyl carbon. It opens. You'll get this intermediate which undergo dehydration to form acetone phenylhydrazone. So group G NHPH. The next semicarbazide. So in semicarbazide, group G is nothing but the urea. It's a urea group. So you will get intermediate, further will undergo the elimination to form acetophenone semicarbazone. Now here you will have the two NH2 groups, this one as well as this one. These two groups are different in nature. This NH2 group is in conjugation with this carbonyl, and therefore it can't attack on this carbonyl. So this NH2 group is not in conjugation, and therefore this lone pair is available for donation, and therefore its attack takes place on the carbonyl, and reaction occurs through this NH2 group and not this NH2 group. So remember this, it's a very important thing. So finally you will get the acetophenone semicarbazone. And last reaction of the ammonia derivative is reaction with 2,4-dinitrophenyl hydrazine. So here I have taken benzaldehyde, and this is the reagent 2,4-DNP. So G group is this bigger group, this one. Okay, so simple nucleophilic attack, it becomes O minus, picks up the proton to form the species, and this species will undergo elimination of water molecule to form 2,4-dinitrophenyl hydrazone derivative. So this reaction is the characteristic test for the detection of carbonyl compounds. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this video. Please subscribe my channel Chemistry Basics and press the bell icon button so you'll get the notification of the next video. And if you like this video, please share and comment in the comment box. Thank you very much.